I think it would also be an interesting survey to see if men would rather be alone in the woods with another man or a bear. I think the answer would still be a bear. Like, men are pretty formidable, and that's just why we're so good in the animal kingdom, because we do have men. But like, we know from my experience, it's likely half of you at least are what we would consider pedophiles in modern society. So what does that mean? And I mean, throughout history, women and children have been abused. So how can we trust you? How can we trust you? Yeah, you've done good things, made the species survive, but at what cost? At like how your life feels, how everybody's life feels around you, because you want to act in a way that makes everybody uncomfortable, or at least the majority of people, women and children being the majority. Hello. Oh, settle. Hey, Reese, no. Hey, no. Sorry. He will meet him, but I want him to settle down first.
She gets out and she does not come to us. She's not fast enough.
Really? She's so cute. Is she a poodle kind of mitt?
Yes, she's a
Charles Spaniel.
yeah, she's a Cavapoo.
Oh, Cavapoo. I have
Yeah.
a friend who breeds Cavapoos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're so cute as puppies. She posts them on Facebook.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
what won me over. I saw a picture and I was like, yeah, I'm getting this.
We have to have it. She looks really good tempered too. So.
Yeah, she is. She's just a
She
sweetheart.
seems friendly.
Sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not bothering me. We have a poodle as well, but he's a bigger one.
She,
A Labrador.
yeah, she figured.
Real poodler. She's got double poodle and one Labrador.
Well, that's what she's a 3/4 poodle and a 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like those mixes. They're fun, and I like that they don't shed.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Like, my house just stays clean, and we get to have a dog too. So.
Yeah. I've always had poodles before, and then we had a Snorky, a Schnauzer and Yorkie.
Okay.
And then I was going to get another poodle, and then we saw her and ended up with her.
Good, yeah.
She just learned to turn and not get out and run off.
Oh, is she new? She looks like a puppy.
We've had her, she's almost 6 months old.
Okay, yeah.
We've had her about 3 months. Yes,
He's
yeah.
cute.
She's a mess.
We just got him as a rescue. He's 3, so we've been just so happy with him. The kids just can't get enough of him.
Everybody that has those say they love them.
Mhm.
Where do y'all
So,
live?
we live in the apartments over by East Point Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great apartment dog. Like, I wouldn't want to get like a husky for an apartment, but
Yeah.
like the Labradoodle, perfect.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. I didn't know I was. I thought we were just meeting the dog. Come here, Reese. Come. Oh, it's a cat. Hey, come here. Hey, come here. So yes, how can we trust you? How can we trust you when you do these things? Like, I try to be a submissive wife. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but it's risky to do because so many are so strange to our ways of happiness and joy. I'm a Christian, but I'm also a woman. Like, biologically, I'm a white woman. So I have loyalty to those just based on my biology. I mean, I don't have to, but it would be dumb to get into a situation where if my race was singled out for whatever reason, I wouldn't stand by my race. Or if my gender was singled out for whatever reason, I wouldn't stand by my gender. Like, that would be weird. And especially with gender issues, especially today, I feel like there's a big deal about women actually just getting, like, killed in their relationships. It happens very often. It's just like violence toward women happens super often, and violence toward men doesn't happen that much. I think I heard about that just recently. I was like, yeah, well, like, men are legitimately abused in their relationships. And I'm legitimately a violent person. I'm legitimately am violent in every relationship I'm in. It's like it doesn't bother me that much. But still, it's like men are just bigger because that's how you got to be where you are. You have a privilege in the animal kingdom, and look what you've done with it. For shame. For shame on you. Don't be like, oh, it's white people that ruin all this. No, it's just men doing the whole thing. Hello. Running the show. We just barely got the vote. It's not like we even have a voice that much. Underrepresented. And anyway, it would just be nice if it wasn't like us and them, if it was just people, you know? Let's just maybe rethink societal structures, and for people who believe in the Bible, just think about this. We logically have no reason to trust you. About half of you are abusing us, at least. I would say, at least mentally or controlling in some way. Crazy, weird, scary, threatening, whatever you want to say. I would say at least half of you. I would say that would be a very generous number. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of women friends. I'm on Facebook. I'm also friends with people who are men. Friends with a lot of decent men, you know? But I would guess at least half of all the men I know about in real life are probably abusive or controlling to their partner in some way, or their children. They're just generally disagreeable to be around a lot of the time. It's like, okay, so you have that, right? You're used to being the boss, you're used to being the kingpin because you're physically stronger. Does might make right? No, because you're also mostly pedophiles, and so you were like raping our children. Like, we don't like that. Okay, so you do this stuff. Let's just know about it, talk about it, move on. But here's the thing. It's in the Bible that women need to submit to their husbands and like not speak in the church and stuff. Do you think that could have been politically like inserted? Do you think that, I mean, with all the other stuff that was politically inserted that we know about, do you think that we could like maybe just say, could that have been politically inserted? You know, isn't that in the Paul stuff anyway? I heard that the Paul stuff is more politically inserted and less correct than like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I think that's true. Like if you read it, it's like, and always listen to the king. It's like, oh, that's kind of crazy that Jesus would say that. Hey. Maybe the women's stuff was also in there because men, they like to keep that power, that lust for power. It's just how you got to where you are, likely. Maybe being the apex species indicates like a consciousness of the DNA, like an intention to like push toward maximum power. And that's why you would become the maximally powerful species, because that's just ingrained in all of us, just in our DNA, like just for the sheer fact that we are a maximally powerful species means that we make ruthless choices. We make choices to get ahead of the others, like as a species over time. That's like our life plan. Or something like the monkey, or like the ones we left behind, they were just content to eat bananas. Like they were just fine to be like where they are. But we have a lust for power and a need for more, consuming. Are we the devils on the earth? Like all of us together. Could we do a better thing though? Like I think it's promised in the Bible that Satan will be bound for 2,000 years. Is that a real thing? Propaganda? What's that? So it's possible that we could learn to live in harmony, like in Zion, cooperatively. we could change our species consciously by changing our minds. It's just in our culture. I think humans are so adaptable too. That's another reason we are the apex, because we're adaptable. So our own nature is not just about being like controlling and dominant, although it is there, but also adaptable. We're like freaking adaptable. That's like our trait. Go anywhere, do anything, live. I don't know. We can do a lot. We just see it. We see how it is. We're very intelligent as well. All of us. I think once you've reached, it's like, oh, the races, but some races are better than others. Yes, there are different traits of races. Think of dog breeds, right? There's lots of dog breeds. We don't get all offended when you're like, hey, my Labradoodle's super smart and like my Husky has a lot of energy. We don't get offended by that. That's just the traits of the dog. And it's like, okay, humans just by accident have done this. Also, like, there's just traits people liked and selected for, just like you want in a partner. Like, oh, I want someone who's like this. And then you mate with them, and then your children are kind of like them too, and it just keeps happening like that. But diversity is really great too, because then you got to get a lot of really interesting new combinations. Come. Like, I love the temperament that the other dog breeds bring to the poodle. I feel like poodles are kind of jerks. I feel like all my experience with poodles they are really smart. That's what they say, but they're also really big jerks. I don't know. They're bitey. They're standoffish. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't known any nice poodles. Might not be their fault, but it just seems like poodles, like, they look cool and they don't shed. That's a really cool trait. They're really smart. But then there's like the Labrador gives it just that friendly personality, you know. So they're like a poodle, like smart, like friendly too. I feel like all of them do that. Anyway, so there's like, it's like better when you have genetic diversity, because look at the Dalmatian. I just heard recently from my friend. We swim there at her house. She told me that Dalmatians their genetics are bad. Like they get bad in old age. Like their temperaments are sour. They're like not good dogs. They're like get really old and sick. And like, I think I've seen that. I feel like I've seen an old Dalmatian and they just kind of like hobbled up and mangy. Like, I don't know. So when you get very specific, it seems like, or when you get too far down into monoculture, like specificity, then you get diseases and problems. But when you have diversity, that's when you get resilience and like thriving. So maybe we could just stop this race line crap. Like, yes, we're different, and like, yes, we have different traits. Some traits are more desirable for some people than others. Who freaking cares? But like, hey, whoa, hey, come, whoa, 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 no, come, hey, no, come, this way, hey, nope, hey, he's acting up, come on, I think he sees a cat or something, hey, you shape up, hey, so I hate when I get mixed up in what I'm doing, either walking the dog or looking at that interesting thing or talking about this stuff, like I don't mind it intertwining a little bit, but then I lose my train of thought. But yeah, we don't get like all caught up and mixed up in the dog breeds. It's fine. We're just humans. We've achieved this level of greatness. Congratulations, we're the apex predators. That means we likely have ruthlessness, cunning, patience, sweetness in us. But okay, so we have other things too. I don't know. We're good at it. We could do better. We're going to kill the planet if we don't. We're too good at it. We're winning. If we win, we lose. Think about that. If we win and subdue the planet completely and take all the resources and like get really rich, we really got to satisfy like the maximum amount of dopamine hits we possibly could in this life. We're so out of balance with luxury and like taking and being powerful that we can't just let go and live like we did it. We subdued the whole earth. Pretty much. Hey. Oh, he gets naughty when I get distracted too, talking, and then my mind goes somewhere else, and he knows. How does he know? He's so smart. Hey, I'm gonna have to make him sit. Sit. Reese, sit. Come, Reese. Hey. So we have this in us. So men, you're like this. We know you're like this. You can keep hiding it. That's why Maynard James Keenan is so refreshing. Because he's a sexual being and he's admitting it and saying it and like talking about it and being open about it and not being like so crass. And also then there's 3 Libras and it's like Maynard James Keenan, you stole my heart. And then there's Violent J in ICP, he's just real and raw and he tells vulnerable things. Hello. And he's real about it. At least I think so. I hope so. No point not being at this point, right? But it's funny and it's fun. So men, you're like this though. You like this. You're like this. Causes problems. We don't want you to go away from us. We just want you to change. And if you're not going to change, we'd like to at least admit it. And then just like, we can live on our own maybe. We can just live separately from each other. Just don't come around us. We won't come around you. I don't know. That's not going to work. You don't want to kick out your sons out of the community. You just have to live together. So, I don't know. You're not all bad though, but am I just deceived? Are you really all bad? Every single one? Not bad, just difficult to be around a lot. And possessing many not ideal traits, such as lying and sneaking, stealing, and stuff like that. You feel very threatened all the time. You've subdued the whole planet. Could you just get a break? Just give it a rest. You don't have to be like that anymore. You did it. You won. But if you win, you lose. If you win all the way, you're going to lose the whole thing. You gonna shoot the moon? I don't know if that's how it works in real life. Hey, literally, if you shoot the moon, say we blow the moon out of the sky, would that catastrophically end life on Earth? Do we need the moon? The moon cycles. Harmonious balance with nature. I mean, I think life would be very different. So maybe that's the catastrophic event, losing, winning the whole game. Hey, stop getting ahead. Hey. I'm not really yanking on him. I'm just signaling with a little tug, but it looks violent. Hey. Hey. You stay with me. All right. So that's my current thinking. Oh, but yeah. So you think this stuff, why would women have to be subject unto their husbands in these conditions? God knows this is happening. Is it the only way to live and get along? Would they be decent? If everyone was doing it, being submissive, who knows? I don't know. I think a lot of sneaky stuff goes on behind closed doors. But hello. Hello. Good. Are you all? Thanks. Hey. And is it just me? And am I just horrible? I'm pretty horrible on this earth. I am a human. I still produce all those human traits that are bad, that are harming the planet. Are bad because they're going too overboard, harming the planet. They're not bad, they're just the way we are, but legitimately kind of cruel sometimes. We tend toward cruelty sometimes as humans. Is that why God was like, hey, cool that you're doing this stuff, but I'm just going to wipe you off the face of the planet. You're too much for this. You're going too far. You're doing too many things. It's not good. You're too strong in this, too corrupt. It just didn't work out. Except for one, the peaceful one. So the peaceful side of us, do we have peaceful? Hey. 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 Sit. Come here. Sit. Sit. Let's take a break. What would bring peace on earth? I feel like reason thought. I feel like if we could just reason together, effectively argue. Arguing is not about contention. Arguing is about coming to further light and knowledge. It's about coming to truth. The way arguing is done determines if it's contention or coming to further light and knowledge. talking about hard facts in a calm and reasonable voice and giving the other person turn to talk is effective arguing. And just getting really, really emotional and like getting overwhelmed and just kind of yelling at the other person and like insisting your points are right with no real evidence, that's contention. Contention is just never good. Contention never like solves anything. True, decent, reasonable arguing solves things. It solves things by reason. It solves things because we can explore ideas, and the only way to get new ideas sometimes is to explore ideas other people are having. Or a good way to get another perspective, like a triangulation on the situation, just to get an idea of what's going on. You have lots of different reference points. Diversity of thought, you know. If your view gets challenged and you freak out, that's a signal to you. You're freaking out. That's a signal that you are contentious and doing that. Stop. Like, take a breath. Jeez. Learn to breathe. Calm down. Speak to understand, not to win, too. Just twisting up and mixing up the truth to make it better for your view or to make your side seem right. If you legitimately think your side's right, you can argue it effectively. If you can only go so far, then you can only go so far, and you might be wrong in your view, or you might expand a little bit. You might get their side, like say I go as far as I can go in my thinking, but I think I'm still right. I can still hear their side and be like, I'll ponder that. I'll think about that. I don't have an answer yet, but line upon line, precept upon precept, I'll get it eventually. And it helps me to have a question to ponder. The more I ponder, the more I get answers. You know, these are the places I've been. And everyone's misunderstood by everyone. Think about that. We get close. The only one who has the true meaning is you and God, right? But we can argue things to get to the truth, and it feels good when we do it. If it feels bad, it's probably contentious. The other person's either seeming calm and arguing in spirals to win, or is actually not calm. So, I mean, should you just abandon? Could you just abandon those arguments at that point? Yes, you could. Should you? I don't know. I often stay in it because if I'm calm, I can stay calm for a long time. I have long suffering. I can suffer it out for a long time until I'm like, you know what? I need a break. And I used to not know how to take a break. I used to be saying, I'll just stay in it forever until the other person understands. But I get emotionally beat down and I have a limit to what I can take. So I take a break. You can build up your tolerance. That's the thing about the Bible too. Like, build up your tolerance for your long suffering, for your emotional outbursts, for your like emotional reserves. Like, how long can you keep a straight face for? How long can you stay calm? It's a contest with yourself. That's like the fruits of the gospel. I feel like the Chinese knew about that already, or the Japanese. Someone we invaded, they were like, you guys are bad. You guys are bad at this. Like, this is a long game. This is a long game here in life. Generational game. Like, you guys are really bad at this. You guys just don't know how to do life. And then we corrupted their youth. Ugh. I mean, we're learning it now. Kind of. I hope we're learning it. Maybe the people who don't learn it will die by the sword, and then that will be that. It's like... God's reaping or something like that. Just live with peace on the land. There's no way to fake it. In the last days, the young women shall prophesy, and the young men shall dream dreams. And there shall be wars and rumors of wars. Take ye therefore no heed, and take ye therefore no heed for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. These are all disjointed scriptures. They don't go one after the other in the actual scriptures, but they're all talking about the last days, I think. Are we in the last days? I don't know. And it does say in the scripture not to talk about that stuff, like predict it, not to say these are the last days, or he's going to come next year. We're not going to say the end of time will be in the 6 Jokers card. The whole world will collapse with the 6 Jokers card. We can't say that. Like, don't. You're not supposed to do that. Because, like, you don't know when the hour comes. He comes. You don't know when the hour is going to be. You just got to ride it out. You got to ride it. It's about riding it. It's not about predicting the end. It's about living with peace on this land. Maybe we should go without electricity and just focus on gardening. Beautiful gardens of peace and joy, and prosperity, and cooperation, and faith, and good works. Sit. Hey, sit. Teaching him good manners. If he's going to live in human society, he's got to learn how to do it like us. And he's smart. He can learn. So can kids. Our kids are smart too. They can learn. They can learn to be easy. Be easier. Anyway, just like a dog can. We don't freak out when someone trains a dog. But we sure freak out when someone trains a child. That's for sure. They're not living in fear. They're happier. They're happier because they're content just to be there. They're happier because they don't demand and cry for things constantly. They're just happy and content. Just like we all learn to be. How did we learn to do it? We had to be corrected and trained. Like, we're letting our kids just get away with everything with the tablets and things because it quiets them. We don't have to correct them, like, for easiness, because we could just distract them. So we've replaced correction with distraction, and that's creating a whole generation of psychos. I don't know what's going to happen there. Some kind of diversity thing, like, that's going to be crazy. They're not going to survive. That's the only thing. That's the thing, though. You're giving your children a disservice. All your generations of people that have come before you, that they did what they could to survive and make it work and carry their genes forth to the next so you could be there, and you're going to waste it because you didn't correct your child, because your child's not going to be fit to live in this world. This world is hard. Especially if things go down, especially if things go bad, especially if this time of prosperity, it doesn't last and it doesn't look like it's going to. I'm sorry, but I bought a brand new phone and it was broken when I turned it on. It became broken. It was just slow, laggy, doesn't work good. Swiping doesn't work that good. Kid doesn't predict very good. It's just kind of broken, real laggy. And then, like, my phone, like, 10 years ago, though, wasn't. Like, all this stuff, they came nice. Why is everything getting worse? Things are getting worse because things are getting worse. Things are getting noticeably worse. And we're going to have to endure it, but in what way? I think the way of love, but that usually ends in a bloodbath, I would say. I would say when the chips are down, most people are going to be getting out of town. No, that just rhymed. When the chips are down, People show their true colors, and people don't always show on the outside what their insides have cultivated. Sometimes their insides are a lot different when their outsides show. In times of struggle and turmoil and trouble and high emotions and anxiety or whatever, times of those problem times are usually when the behaviors that they've been working so hard to hide, they come out because they want to appear really generous and like loving, but then like really deep down they're like vengeful and angry or something, spiteful or whatever. That's going to come out because it takes a bit of energy to maintain the facade, and then when it's stressful, the facade breaks and those things come out. The tendencies rear their ugly head. It's unavoidable. You have to actually do the work. You have to actually just be engaged in it in order for you to know any real change. If for you to see any real fruits of the kingdom of God, you have to have done the work for a while. Thus, the parable of the 10 virgins. You can go out right now and try to do the work. You should, if you're not already. You should try to obtain some of the lower hanging fruits in the vineyard in the kingdom of God. Something such as patience, long-suffering. So you have something to show your master when he comes. Enter into my joy and sit down on my throne. Enter into my joy and sit down on my throne. Oh, that each in the day of his coming may say, I have fought my way through, I have finished the work thou didst give me to do, so that each from his Lord may receive a glad word. Well and faithfully done. Enter into my joy and sit down on my throne. Enter into my joy and sit down on my throne. It's worth doing. He's going to look at you and be like, you had that last hour. You could have been doing stuff. You gave up. At least try now. Pick up your cross and follow him. Be truthful. Be kind. Be honest in your dealings. Love your neighbors. Love your enemies as yourself. For behold, the bridegroom cometh, and the virgins, the ones without the oil, they're like, oh crap, we didn't get oil, we didn't store up any, we didn't cultivate those traits, we didn't multiply our talents, fuck. They're like, the ones who had oil were like, well, you could get started, you should get started, it wouldn't hurt to try. And they ran from them and fled into the city, and they bought from those who had. They did good things. They did the works. They were like, yes, we did it now. And they came back and they tried to get in. Jesus was like, I know thee not. You're not part of this party. You don't know the people here. We don't know you. It's not going to be a good time with you here because we don't know you. We're sorry, but you were not familiar with us. You did not know. And you could have been more wise with your time. There were chances. You did have chances. You did have time to get your oil. You had all night. Behold, the great and terrible day of the Lord. I think that's kind of what the Juggalos talk about, or at least Violent J. Is it the great and terrible day of the Lord when he comes again with a sword? A flaming sword, comes like a lion. Who is he that cometh? Oh, my brother, you show the way, and you were a man. Is it blasphemous to suggest he was a woman? Yeah, it feels kind of gross to do that. I've heard some people say that, though. So I was thinking about it. I was like, do we know if he's a man? Could we entertain that idea? Could we have an argument with someone who believes Jesus was a woman versus someone who believes Jesus was a man? And hear those sides? That would be a good perspective. That would be a good argument, debate. I would love to hear that in a reasonable way, without a lot of shouting and yelling, just like the arguments. Just let's hear the arguments. Let's hear the reasons. But if Jesus was a man, it's all about men. Men run the stage, men run the show. They kind of do, they kind of have. That's just kind of where they are at. There's just kind of their position in society, or in reality, not in society, but in the world. Like, as a creature on this earth, the natural man's in charge of the whole earth. He's just so good at it. Do you think that there might be some anti-female propaganda put in there? Just scattered throughout, just to maintain like an ideological dominance as well? Because maybe females are dominant in their own right, just not dominant to males, like physically or like intellectually. Like, we are intellectually, I feel like, as capable. We're just taught not to be. But like physically, we're not. We can't dominate. What about intellectually? Females don't often choose the intellectual stuff as often. It could be cultural. We don't know. Could be cultural. Could be social. Could be genetic, but I feel like women are capable of intelligence and being intellectual, just don't want to be. I think there's a difference between capability and desire. And I also think animal traits are based off of desire just as much as capability. We talk about being fit to live, but there's also desire, like the desire of mates. Like, think about those real flashy birds that do those dances. Those female birds, they love that stuff. They're like, yes, do that dance. And then he's so flashy he gets eaten, but it doesn't matter because she got mated with. She's like, yeah, we got a mate. I'm gonna have some babies, and the babies survive. And they're like, that was a successful pairing. It doesn't matter if the man died at all. It was successful. Congratulations. You have offspring. You've made it to the next generation. It's like a game, you know, like terraforming Mars. There's like generations of a game. You made it. You want a little bit more. So there's desire. I think like desire has just as much to do with capability in like genes getting passed on, because like that's desire, and that would make sense why we are like the apex, because our desires were for power and dominance, you know, always up and lust for more. As a species, as a divergent group, like early on, in the species when we came out from bacteria. And then there was like two divergent groups. Like, why did one diverge? Why were they were just living in different places, perhaps, and different traits. And like, as the animal kingdom got older and like more things happened, desire began to play more of a role. Like, I desire to eat this kind of fruit. No, that might still be capability. Like, I just mostly like what people look like, I guess. Was our species just really capable of dominating just by our intellect? Maybe it's our intelligence. Hey. You need to stop this. Stop pulling. Hey. I'm gonna stop every time. He could be very strong-willed. Hey, stop. Hey. Sit. Okay. All right. I think that's my longer than I expected treatise on male-female interactions, treatise on dominance, genes, religion, biblical propaganda. You know, the whole gambit, the whole thing. It's been a good day. It's been a good walk. I haven't had a walk in a long time. Had a long walk. It's great temperature, humid and cloudy.